Hello, all. How are you doing? I hope you are learning much through this managerial skills and personal skills. Today, we are going to learn about business writing. Now, what is business writing? Business writing is a type of writing, especially that is being used in professional setting. Now, why we are saying this all? Because in profession, every piece of writing is very important. It conveys information to the reader, but this information, if it is clear, very concise, it means short and sweet, and in effective manner, then only this business writing is going to meet its purpose. This business writing can be especially done between the client proposals. It can be used in reports. It can be used as memos and emails. When we are doing the business writing, the clarity of thought is very important. Clarity of thoughts talks about what is to be written, what is the message that is to be conveyed. It could be a detailed incident, it could be a detailed writing about something. So, what words are to be used, how much is to be written, the conciseness of that particular writing, the use of correct grammar and sentences is very important. And along with this, the most simple language should be used. Now, when we say simple language, it should not be too poetic, it should not be too difficult for the reader to understand. Why we are studying the business writing today? My dear friends, all of us are going to be in corporates after completion or education. So, starting from as simple as that, you are going to apply for a job. You're going to make an application for the job. You need to understand what are the contents of it. So, business writing, it improves and it helps an individual to success in their career and businesses they are going to do. It gives you an insight about all businesses in and out. Normally, the business writing flows up, down, laterally, internally, and externally to the customers. So, from this, we can analyze that it is a 360-degree round process. And this is said to be as the foundation of a business. Even today, though in this digital world, be it via virtual, but we are writing and we are doing business writing in the offices and workplaces. Basically, the business writing, when it is being done, there are two primary questions to ask every time when we write or document a mail or do any document. The first question is, who is my reader? When I understand my reader, then I'm able to write down the information by taking into consideration what I want to communicate to my reader. So, when you say understanding your reader, who is your reader? Your superior, your co-worker, your boss, your vice president, anyone within the office. Then, second question that is to be asked is, what do I want my reader to know to do? It means whatever is being written down, what do you expect the reader to do or know from that writing? मैसेज अगर ठीक से नहीं गया तो बात की बतंगड़ बन सकता है. Whenever business writing is being done, the information should flow rightly from one end to another. There should not be any mismatch between that information. And that is why the words are to be properly quoted. Now we see when we are doing business writing, it is basically categorized into four types. One, the instructional. Two, the informational. Third, the persuasive. And fourth is the transactional. These four are the categories when we do business writing. Now let's see them in detail one by one. The first one is the instructional business writing. As the name suggests, instructional business writing, it talks about giving direction to someone or guiding in a proper way. Why? Because in instructional business writing, stepwise process is needed to be followed to complete the task. In simple words, instructional business writing can also be a guideline to complete your task. Take example, you are writing or you're reading a user manual. काफी बार हम लोगों ने देखा है, what is user manual? We find it along with many items that we purchase. As simple as that, it could be an electronic good, a new TV set, a small mobile handset, a new laptop. All these are going to have a user manual. All these are going to have a user manual. A user manual falls aptly under the category of instructional business writing. Why? Because it is a stepwise completion of task. On the other hand, a memo that is being issued to the employees outlining the method of completing a certain task in the future is also a business writing. Now, when we say memo, it means that employee is going to complete the task in coming time based on the instructions given into them. So this is all about your instructional business writing. Then comes your second, that is informational business writing. In informational business writing, it is pertaining to the business information accurately. Informational business writing has the most consistent data. It comprises of documents that are very essential for the core functions of a business. The core functions related to the growth of an organization, related to the plans of an organization, or certain legal obligations. That is why your financial statements, minutes of meeting register or records, all these are important and they be a part of your informational business writing. Then comes your third, that is persuasive business writing. Persuasive business writing is a writing that is focused on impressing and influencing the decision of the reader. It basically gives information to convince about a specific product or a service or a company or a relationship. That is why persuasive business writing are mostly being used by marketing and sales department. These include proposals, bulk sales, emails, and press releases. There are n number of examples in and around us where we can see the persuasive business writing. And fourth category is your transactional business writing. Transactional business writing, it talks about day-to-day communication at the workplace. And that is why it falls under transactional. It gives you the details of the transactions that take place within an organization. So these could include all the official letters, maybe different forms that are being used in office, the invoices that are there. All these are said to be as transactional business writing. Now moving further, we'll see what are the main principles of a good business writing. The first point is clarity of purpose. The main point over here talks about that whenever a business writing is being done, the clarity of what is being written and for the reason it is being written should be very much clear by the writer. Second is your clarity of thoughts. As I have told you, the way I think should be jotted on paper, or the way I think that the reader should understand should be jotted on paper is very important. Thirdly, the BIS principle says that convey accurate and relevant information. Not too much or too less information should be provided. Avoid use of jargons over here because it may create a misunderstandings. Fifthly, read and revise continuously whenever you're doing a business writing. Next, business writing becomes very smooth and functionable with practice. So the only way to improve your business writing is to practice. Whenever business writing is being done, be direct in whatever you want to say. Talk to the point without beating around the bush. Avoid verbosity. Verbosity over here talks about specific use of words which are not necessary. Correct use of grammar and sentences. And lastly, easy to scan. Then only the business writing can be a good business writing. Whenever business writing is being done, there are certain tips that are to be kept into the mind. So these are few of the tips that will help you along. No long paragraphs are allowed in a business writing. Use lots of white space. It should not be too clumsy, very closely written alphabets. The indent and the sub information should be properly maintained. A standard indent of 1 inch or 2 inch from left side and right side, all these things need to be followed. If there is a heading and a subheading, it should be numbered properly, as it could be, you can say 1 is your heading and 1.1 is your subheading. Try to use number and bulleted list. It makes the business writing very clear, and whatever points we want to mention or we want the reader to understand makes it clear and precise. Headings above document sections are a natural antidote for information overload. So the headings should be properly made. Under each heading, the relevant information should be added. And lastly, judicious use of bold or color can highlight key points. If you want to show that, yes, these are the some of the points which are very, very important and can't be missed, then use of certain colors can be done. Then we move on to understand why doing business writing, there are certain do's and don'ts for it. Whenever business writing is being done, plan out what you will say to make your writing more Plan out what you will say to make your writing more direct and effective. First plan it and then write it down. Use words sparingly and keep sentences short and to the point. ज़्यादा बड़े sentences की जरूरत नहीं है. This will make the reader confused or not able to understand the point you want to mention. Avoid jargons and fancy words. When I say fancy, please make a quote. You may be using certain small words on your WhatsApp and your social media and so. But in business writing, these words are not at all allowed. Always strive for clarity. Then, in business writing, there are certain don'ts also. What are those don'ts? Argue that you simply can't write. As you write and write, the better is the practice. Secondly, you pretend that your first draft is perfect. Every document can be improved after a span of time. And don't argue anywhere. Present your main idea as soon as possible in your writing. This will make your whole report short and sweet and to the point. So friends, in this particular session, we have seen what do you mean by business writing, why business writing is important, what are the 4 categories of business writing, and the principles or the good elements of a business writing. I hope you enjoyed this and you will do good business writing. Thank you.